How to end crime in American cities. Let me explain. Number one, the criminal justice system. The judges, prosecutors, and district attorneys must actually punish criminals. Major cities in the US, like Chicago, Detroit, Baltimore, and Washington, D.C., have created a reputation for themselves for being extremely high crime. The judges, prosecutors, and district attorneys are responsible for prosecuting crimes and deciding which offenses to focus on enforcing, and are responsible for punishment, bail policy, and keeping criminals in jail. Many of these justice systems in progressive city districts fundamentally do not believe in punishing criminals. They might not even attempt to prosecute serious violent crimes or flat out lawlessness like mass lootings. They might give light slap on the wrist sentences and even let out criminals years before they've actually paid for the crimes. They fundamentally do not believe in punishing criminals. Number two, soft on crime policy has proven to be a failure. The experiment of soft on crime policy has proven to have deadly consequences. Progressive leftist cities are fundamentally soft on crime. Their criminal justice policy is informed by their social beliefs about American society. These people purposefully let out criminals in the name of restorative justice, assuming that criminals are even prosecuted in the first place. They often believe that criminals are simply victims of circumstances, such as socioeconomic factors. A cruel irony about these soft on crime progressive beliefs is that the people most affected by these policies are people in poverty, who live in the same area as the criminals, such as people who have to take public transport. The only logic that hardened criminals ever truly understand is harsh on crime criminal justice. Just by having actual enforcement of the law, punishing criminals, and keeping criminals locked up to the full term of their punishment, you could easily eliminate a majority of the crime in America. Number three, repeat offenders statistically commit a major percentage of total crime. Repeat offenders who are aware they will never be punished for their crimes will continue committing crimes. They may have dozens of arrests and convictions, and they know they can do whatever they want. They may even have a dozen arrests for violent crimes and will still never be locked up. They will continue robbing and killing until they are put in jail. Policies which permanently punish criminals for being constant repeat offenders would drastically reduce crime, with virtually no downside to society. Number four, criminals should be held in jail until trial, if appropriate. Otherwise, they should generally be required to post bail. Bail is the money the court holds to ensure a defendant returns for their court dates. Otherwise, a suspect might be held in jail until their court trial. They might set bail at $0 so that a criminal who was just arrested of a crime they absolutely did commit are free on the streets within hours of arrest, where they often go on to commit yet another crime. The phenomenon of $0 bail, and generally letting out suspects immediately after they are arrested, has time and time again shown to let out violent repeat offenders to commit even more crimes after being let out. This policy has time and time again led to the same predictable outcome. Number five, when police officers see that the justice system will not keep criminals in jail, they won't even attempt to stop crime. If a police officer knows they can arrest a felon for a violent crime and hours later they will be back on the street, the police officer is not even going to attempt to stop crimes and put themselves in danger. Number six, punishments for everyday petty lawless behavior. Punishments for petty lawless behavior, like causing public disturbances, doing drugs in public places, or forcibly washing people's windshields and harassing people are examples of lawless behavior. While these might not be serious violent crimes, the everyday harassment of law-abiding citizens is unacceptable. Number seven, crime stats can be completely inaccurate depending on the city's crime policy. If a city blatantly lets off repeat criminals and mobs of criminals after they burn down the city, the crime stats will show that crime is low or non-existent. Or if legislators effectively legalize crimes like theft, crime stats will show theft as being close to zero. There are many ways to manipulate crime stats, so crime stats should be taken with a grain of salt. Number eight, unequal application of criminal justice is a real phenomenon. Rioters can freely burn down cities, and thieves can mass loot retail stores, and local jurisdictions will prosecute virtually none of the criminals. This phenomenon happens very often. Meanwhile, like with the case of Daniel Penny and Jordan Neely, a violent, lifelong criminal with 42 prior arrests, he was repeatedly allowed to roam the streets unopposed for years. Meanwhile, Daniel Penny, an ex-Marine, restrains him as he shouts death threats to an entire train. The New York City judicial system threw everything they had against Daniel Penny, and Daniel Penny was lucky enough to not be sentenced to life in jail. Meanwhile, multi-dozen arrest criminals roam the streets unprosecuted. This is not a criminal justice system.